last night. And then he said in his press conference, if I did this, I would have gotten ejected. Joel Embiid, come on, look at it. Like, bro, I caught almost 1,000 balls in football. And almost 90% of them, I came down harder than this. So this is just soft.
Yeah,
there's this big conversation around basketball players and football players, who's tough, who's not. That is soft, Joel Embiid. Get up, man. That was all acting. He should have got a flagrant one.
How did Joel Embiid might move down the pyramid because of this? He might move down the pyramid. Brandon, I love you. You were playing on grass and turf. You were playing on the hardwood. Anyway,
there's cement under the turf. There's cement under the turf.
I mean, it's grass. In any event,
what's happening?
Here's a true superstar right here, looking beautiful. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about Cam Newton. Cam Newton's got a New Year's resolution. Just like me, it's usually to eat more plants. But Cam's already a vegetarian. So what's his plan? Boom. Cover your ears, Jeff Garcia. Honestly, I'm not just saying this for the perks or glory. I'm going to need Downey more than ever this year because one of my New Year's resolutions is to not buy any type of high fashion clothing. Shoes, clothes, everything. Also, he's sponsored by Downey. So that while everyone else is playing checkers with their New Year's resolution, old Cam Newton's playing chess. I'm going to need Downey more than ever. So he's going to recycle all his clothes, which just means wear them again. Look out for great outfits.
Wilds, I got to jump in, buddy. Because this is a show intervention. Yesterday, Brandon brought up high school sweethearts on the show. And Jenna hit the trifecta. Jenna, I'm going to need you to be quiet for just a moment. This is important for you and your family. Jenna hit the trifecta. She brought up this poor guy, Mike, who stood her up at prom. She brought up Danny Ainge. And she, of course, brought up Michael J. Fox. It was concerning. What was more concerning was Jenna's parents reaching out to me and saying this needs to be stopped. Show it, please. Jenna has made her parents keep this. That is a shrine. That is I wish we could zoom in. Every single one of those pictures is of Michael J. Fox. Keep in mind, Jenna grew up in 3 different nations, globe-trotting around the world with her family. This traveled with them everywhere, and she has not allowed her family to throw it out. They reached out to me directly to ask you if they can please get rid of it, and do you need help? So I'm just letting you know, Jenna, we are here. It is a safe space, and we can leave 1987 in the past. We can do it. We're here for you if you need us.
The only 3 people that don't watch our show, Michael J. Fox, Danny Ainge, and my friend Mike DiBianco from high school. It feels like those are the only 3 people that don't know I was obsessed
it's time,
with
Jenna.
We're going to put this thing away. I promise you, this thing will be retired forever until the next time I bring it up. Can we talk about Kelly Oubre last night? Switch gears to something that I know a little bit less about. Kelly Oubre with the old, hey, something embarrassing happened. I'm going to turn it into something I really wasn't planning to do, but going to do anyway. Warriors and T-Wolves. Oubre gets pushed. He's like, I didn't get pushed. I wanted to do 3 push-ups with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. That was my goal coming into the game. We all do it. How many times do I get caught on camera fixing my hair and I'm like, what is that? I'm going too long on my butt first segment. I need to wrap it up. You got it, Ketta. No problem. Hey, Kelly. All right, we'll get to foot racing and such, but we got to start with Tom Brady. You know, Wilds, you probably don't know this. Before he was Tampa Tam, he was Boston Brady. When it was always Super Bowl or bust, it's still pretty peachy for Brady, though not so much for his former head coach. At least according to Brady's dad, who said Belichick is, quote, on a little bit of a hot seat right now. Belichick, Brady. Brandon, does Belichick need to get to another Super Bowl now that Brady did it without him in Tampa?
Absolutely not. Come on, guys. Both of them reached the GOAT status because of each other. They needed each other. Come on, think about it. Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. Tom Brady, greatest quarterback, potentially greatest football player, greatest athlete, champion of all time. Now, if he goes and wins his 7th Super Bowl. But there's a few things that stands out because everyone right now probably is leaning more towards Tom Brady because he went into Tampa in his first year and he took the team to the Super Bowl. But let's not forget about Bill Belichick. Pure football. His special teams has been the best unit in all of football the last 20 years. They don't make mistakes. Defensively, sometimes, you know, they're okay. Sometimes they're exceptional. They're great. That's not Tom Brady. Leadership. Think about leadership. He's probably the most studied leader in all of business. Like, people fly in to sit down with him to pick his brain. It's easy to draw up X's and O's and draw up schemes and plays. But when you talk about getting guys on one accord and moving in one direction, that takes leadership. And he's one of the best that's ever done it. And then, Nick, putting the team together. He's the general manager. He makes all the decisions. He drafts the guys. He signs the guys. He cuts the guys. He trades for guys. Now, look. He gets a lot of stuff for being a cutthroat guy. A lot of people would say that's what actually makes him great. The one mistake he made with one player is being cutthroat with Tom Brady. So it's both of them. I love the conversation, but come on, man, let's not pick Tom or Bill.
Okay, so here's the thing. Prior to this year, I always would say superstar player at the quarterback position is going to, who is more valuable, Walsh or Montana? Who was more valuable, Noel or Bradshaw? It was Bradshaw. So who was more valuable, Belichick or Brady? It was Brady. But that's almost a different discussion. Who brings more value, the superstar quarterback or the coach that has his hand in everything else? This discussion is more, to me, Wild, about can Tom Brady's success outside of New England retroactively ding Belichick's resume? And I'm here to tell you, fair or not, I think the answer is yes. Fair or not, you know the stories that would be written in 10 or 15 years if Bill Belichick never makes another Super Bowl, if he never makes another deep playoff run, and it's going to be, this was a 500-ish coach before Tom Brady took over. He had been to the playoffs once, and they went 1-1. Then he had a 20-year magical journey with if we're talking about this in 15 years, we'd be saying, with the second greatest quarterback of all time behind only Patrick Mahomes. In those 20 years, he won 6 Super Bowls, went to 9. And then in the 8 years after that guy left, they were just another team. If that is what happens, then absolutely history, they still might call him the GOAT, but it will be easier to catch him being Belichick, and the resume won't be as impenetrable because of what Brady has done outside of the cocoon of New England. I don't know if that's totally fair, Wilds, but I would bet any amount of money that narrative and that discussion will exist.
I think it's totally fair. You know, if Phil Jackson stayed with the Bulls and the Bulls didn't make the playoffs, you could say like, it's mostly Jordan. And if Jordan went to the Wizards and made the finals, you're like, well, looks like it was mostly Jordan, not Phil Jackson. But I don't think we have to worry about it because I've never been more optimistic about the Patriots. Here's why. 1, all of our opt-outs coming back. Patrick Chung's coming back. Hightower's coming back. Marcus Cannon's coming back. Number 2, 4th most cap space. Oh, great. What are we going to spend the money on? We can go shopping. Number 3.
Tom Brady.
Number 15 draft pick. We haven't had a draft pick that high since I was a little boy. I was this tall. Number 4. Oh, guess what our schedule has? A bunch of new coaches. Great article in SB Nation that I didn't even think of. Like, all these new coaches hired. The Patriots get to play all of them. We get to play Urban Meyer. We played the Jets twice. We were going to play the Texans. We're going to play the Falcons. You're like, we also play Chargers. Like, the Falcons, that's right. Because we have to play the NFC South. So that means Tom Brady is coming to New England next year, Nick. So I don't even know if we need to get to the Super Bowl.
What?
But if Tom Brady goes into Gillette and Belichick puts the clamps on him, I think that we can start a brand new conversation. Like, yeah, Belichick would be nice to go to the Super Bowl, but if he goes into Gillette and lays an egg, and you know Belichick's got to be looking at that like an Ohio State, Michigan type game.
That I totally disagree with. I don't think one regular season game will have any legacy impact whatsoever. I think it's all about counting Super Bowl appearances, counting divisional titles, counting playoff wins. But I just want to ask Brandon a question. Brandon, when you think back on your career, okay, don't you think it is very important to your legacy and how you're remembered, the success you had once you and Jay Cutler split up? Don't you think I believe the year that really cemented your status in your era was the year with Fitzy in New York? Because no one could say it was the system. No one could say you were yelling at Jay at practice all.
Event.
What's happening?
Here's a true superstar right here, looking beautiful. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about Cam Newton. Cam Newton's got a New Year's resolution. Just like me, it's usually to eat more plants. But Cam's already a vegetarian. So what's his plan? Boom. Cover your ears, Jeff Garcia. Honestly, I'm not just saying this for the perks or